Welcome back, everybody. The Valley Podcast had a loss tonight to the Nuggets, playing them 2 games in a row. Suns Valley Pod here. Gabe, how's it going? Got Coach Evan B in the house. We got Saltiest AZ fan. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Yo.
So, Coach, I say we just get it on. We just start
Get
off
it
with
on. What?
So we get it on right off the bat. What's going on Twitter, Coach Evan? What is going on? I think you need to clear the air.
Man, I don't even know why I'm being targeted, but when you're doing something right, there's going to be haters. So clearly we are doing a lot of right things on the Valley Podcast here, enjoying the time that I have. But let me be very, very, very specific. Right after the game, everybody's coming out with a bunch of tweets. Oh, Book's going to miss extended amount of time. He's going to miss next game. He's going to miss all these things that we have no idea what's going on. All we know is that he left and he looked fine while he was on the bench. Nobody was tending to him or anything. He didn't look like he was in physical pain. Yet there's all these things coming out like he's going to be missing time. Coach hasn't even done a post game yet. People start coming at me. Why would you say this? You're an idiot. You're a dumbass. Yada, yada, yada. Why would you come out and tweet? If I think that, he's going to miss an extended amount of time, he would have somebody by his bench, right? If he was truly hurt, like, he would be over there. I'm not saying he's not hurt. Like, clearly something was off. Like, come on, that's obvious, right? But if he was seriously hurt, he would be over there getting tended. So I tweeted that out. People coming at me.
What you mean by that is seriously hurt, not
seriously hurt,
not like seriously hurt. Like
when people say extended amount of time,
hurt.
That's like 6-8 weeks, 3 months, something like that, right? So I just tweeted something very simple out, being like, hey, if he's going to be out a long amount of time, he obviously would have been being tended to. There would have been some ice on him, a heat pack, a wrap. There would have been something like. Relax. Taken the wrong way, taken out of context. More people want to try to bash us, which is totally fine. Go and do that. We're just not going to sponsor your tweets or your responses or whatnot. But I just was trying to give some hope, man. I was just trying to give y'all hope. If he was really hurt and going to be out a long amount of time, he would have been tended to. Good.
Right.
God, y'all are just emotional.
So I think the misunderstanding, and Salty, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think the misunderstanding is people thought you were calling him like Scottie Pippen, like not wanting to go back in the game and saying like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my back hurts, or like, I'm not going back in. I'm not, like, I think people thought you were calling Book out, but what you're really saying is if he had a real like threatening injury that was really going to keep him out, then wouldn't they have been like rubbing his hammy or something like that with evaporated milk?
He'd have been doing something, man. He'd have been getting in an oatmeal bath right now, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Sorry, thank you for clearing that up, everybody. Man. Get off my guy Coach's back, for the love of God. Coach, I do have a question before we give it up to Salty. Is your love affair with Abdel Nader over yet? Can this game?
See, this is another overreaction. This is a blatant, identical situation. I say one thing on a podcast, and that one thing was I'm excited to see him because we hadn't seen him, and it gets completely overblown again.
Well, for the record, I'm the only one overblowing, and I don't think anyone else is giving you shit for it. It's just me.
No, I just had to
I just personally hate Nader. I don't like him. I think that
I thought he did good tonight. What did he do wrong? He did more than Langston Galloway would have done.
I mean, I don't remember the last time Langston Galloway shot a 3 that hit the other side of the backboard.
He made one tonight. He made one tonight. He made one tonight.
Sure.
Salty, what's going on, Salty? I need you to take over for me. You and Evan take over.
I'm muting myself. Y'all talk.
No,
I'll
mute myself.
All right, so this Nader guy. The first problem that I have with this situation is where's this guy been all these other games, like we're doing good as a team, and all of a sudden the coach is like, let me pull this random player out of my asshole and see if it works. It's like throwing stuff at the dartboard to see if it sticks, It's weird because it's like I love Monty as a coach, but he's starting to piss me the fuck off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like his rotations are annoying me. His substitutions, all kinds of stuff. But his usage of timeouts is garbage. He doesn't use them. Situational awareness is just not there. We had a chance to not go into overtime, and we rebounded the ball with 2 seconds left, and we could have called the timeout, which we had. Could advance the ball. We didn't. Chris Paul jacks up a half-court shot that bricks, and we go to overtime and we lose again. So this Nader guy, yeah, I don't know. I don't have really a lot of history with him. Actually, I don't even know who the fuck he is really. I've never really watched him, so I can't tell you if what he is or what he isn't. All I know is he wasn't playing for how many games, and we were doing just fine. And then all of a sudden he comes in. But from what I saw, I mean, he gets to the basket, and I think that's what Monty's trying to do, is because we are lacking that. So he's like overcompensating. He's like, Langston Galloway is just a 3-point shooter, and he doesn't play defense. So fuck that guy. He's on the bench. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, well, this Nader guy, he can drive to the basket, so let's play him. It's just like, come on, dude. Like, you're overcompensating, and that's exactly what he's doing there. Nader can get to the hoop, and that's the moral of the story. So Monty's like, let's play him. You know, and
but can he do anything when he gets to the rim? Like,
I
not
mean,
really.
Had
Like,
he's had some slams. Come on now.
Okay,
give him some credit.
Okay, but keep in mind, like, just think about this when you watch him next time for me. If he keeps getting minutes, God forbid. But if he does, just notice this: his dunks are always wide open. Not wide open, but he never dunks on someone or through someone.
That's because he's going by somebody too fast. They don't have time to get there.
That's fair, but I'm more impressed if you're going to dunk on someone. Like, there's a lot of guys, and there's a lot of guys I hoop with at Lifetime, not me, who can dunk like that when no one's on them. Like, it's not impressive to me. Like, there's so many dudes in rec leagues and Drew leagues that can dunk way better than you. Like, if I need somebody to come in and dunk, I'll call Shannon Brown. Like, I'm just not impressed because sorry.
Can you guys agree that our coach is overcompensating, dude? Like,
this
with the lineup?
This is my first game, Salt, of feeling like you were right. There's something going on with
it's the first time you've been right, Salt.
This is the first time in your life you've been right.
No. With this specific situation, remember, you've been the one telling me that you don't like his lineups, and I was like, nah, I like his lineups. No, tonight was the first time I realized, his lineups are a little bit wonky.
Because you just look like time situations. You look at the plus minus, the amount of time Booker and Chris Paul are on the court together. You look at crunch time. You look at momentum. Just look at like the momentum swings. First of all, the Cam Johnson switch with Crowder. I think that was just overreaction to the starters not getting it done a couple games in a row. There was a couple games in a row where there's like plus minus, the starters were extremely minus, you know what I'm saying? So then our coach overcompensated again, which he did tonight. It's like this overcompensation thing. And he's like, well, fuck, I got to make a lineup change. Let's throw Cam Johnson in there and see if the shit sticks to the wall, you know, because the thing is, we went out and got Crowder for a reason, because he was a starter on a team that got to the championship. And you know, players have struggles with their shots, but I just think that he brings a lot more to the table with defense and being a veteran. And Cam Johnson's just a very young player at this point, and we're trying to get Mikal acclimated into the starting role, and he's young. They're both young, so it's like you're just putting a lot of young players in there in the starting position, and I'd rather have that veteran in there as Crowder. Even if his shot's not falling, he's just a big body, brings a lot to the table, you know. So that's just me. Cam Johnson struggled a lot tonight. I don't know. I think it's time to go back to the Crowder.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second here. So I'm guilty of this. I think you're guilty of this. Probably Coach too. I think all three of us were thinking, wow, what a jam by Murray. Bro, dude's athleticism sneaks up on you sometimes. But we were all thinking, this guy, you know, like let's go ahead and have them switch Crowder and and Cam, because I guess that was maybe more of a Monty decision, right? Wasn't that just kind of his hunch? Was what was going to get us going? And it kind of worked for a game, but Crowder apparently hates coming off the bench, and Cam Johnson apparently doesn't know what to do in the starting lineup because both of them suck now. Yeah. And I just personally can't wait until Dario comes back, because that's what we really need at the 4 position. I don't think either of those dudes are meant to be playing the 4. I think they're both 3s.
No, Dario's a big gap on our team. Like I don't think people give him enough credit to what he brings to this team, especially just rotation wise. Like, he's a great passer. He hustles. He gets rebounds. He's in good positions. He's smart. Like, his IQ is incredible. So the loss of him has been tough. How long has he been out? Like, how many games have we been without him? He was out for the beginning part of the year.
Was he with the Washington game when we lost? Did he play? I don't even remember.
I don't know. You'd have to look at the losses, but it feels like he's been out for a lot of the losses for us. I'd have to look through to double check that, but
yeah, we definitely seem to be a better team with him, no question.
And then Frank Kaminsky, not a fan. I know it's just we're in a tough situation with COVID protocols and injuries and all this other stuff, but I know you're like trying to give him a chance, and I know he made 2 threes, but I don't like him as a basketball player. I feel like he just is not good. That's why he got cut by the Kings, and the Kings are like basement dwellers right now, and they cut him, So
CP3 had 2 points up until the 3 minutes and 33 second mark was out of the 4th quarter. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, he and Crowder have got to start giving us more offense. And by offense, I do mean points from the 2 of them. Like, we could have – I know Chris Paul's a better defender than Ricky Rubio, but at this point, I'm starting to think in our offense with Monty, maybe that's the only thing he's better at, because – 15 assists, that's great tonight, but he just looked terrible.
Most of those were in the first half, early 3rd quarter too.
Yeah, that was so beautiful by Ayton. 3 games in a row, gentlemen, that Ayton is getting an A+ from me. Can he get an A+ from both of you?
Absolutely.
A+ Salt?
Yep.
That incredible. Yep. So my hunch is, as long as he stays like this, and I feel like tonight it showed to me perfectly that it is his conditioning. It's been his conditioning. I feel like you can see he has that extra gear, and so the want to is actually there, because it's like, hey, not only do I want to score here, I actually have the wind to go get these baskets. And you can see it by the way he's hustling full court and running the court like that for a 7-footer. What did you think, Coach?
Come back to me. I've got a little bit of lag. I don't know if I'm lagging on you guys right now.
So DeAndre Ayton's game.
DeAndre just looks focused. He looks like he has energy. He's playing with confidence. It's just, I have no qualms about the way any part of his game tonight. Defensively, offensively, I feel like he was at the right position. So, like I said, he definitely was far from any part of the reason why we lost. And he was trying his best to help us win, in the right positions. I was – another thing that had me confused, and I know this is a coaching decision, is why wasn't Ayton guarding Joker? Why was Cam Johnson guarding, Jokic?
Yeah.
What's going on with that? Like, are they scared to get Ayton in foul trouble?
I saw quite a bit of high ball screens like early in the shot clock, and then once they were for sure switching off of them, then they would back off, and they would do that with like still 14 seconds left. They would back out, and then they could just get it to Joker, and he could take his time with the smaller player on him, which was, really smart on their end, because DA was definitely interrupting everything down there.
Mm-hmm.
as far as the Chris Paul thing, man, it was good to see. When he had
Like
2
what
points.
the F? Sorry, what the F was Nader? Look at this. What the F is Nader doing on? Why are they switching everything and putting them in a situation where Nader is guarding Jokic?
We've been switching all season, and we did nothing but switch in the bubble too. This is nothing new that we've done. We are a switch team. This is what Monty wants to go with for a multitude of reasons. Specifically, we have a lot of players that are the same length, like Mikhail, Cam, Dario,
Right.
et cetera. But our only true post player that has any toughness or size is DeAndre Ayton. Our next biggest player is like Jay Crowder. And he's not going to be able to stop anybody big. So maybe it's DeAndre Ayton not being able to call it out sooner. Maybe he's not able to fight through the screens, or maybe the screens are so good that the guards can't fight through them, so they don't have a choice. You know what I mean? And there's something that they're doing on the help side. So if they're doing a pick and roll on the right side, those guys that are also on the right side, the right corner, gotta come down, and maybe they're afraid to leave their guy too much. So
look at him. Look at him walk Cam. Sorry, look at him just walk Cam Johnson. To the rim.
It was
like
a hell
Shaq.
of a strategy by them. It's a hell of a strategy by
them.
They
have to have something. They have to have something figured out for tomorrow. They cannot
with no book.
Look, you can win this game. You can win this game versus them tomorrow without Booker. All you have to have is Mikhail and Cam Johnson hitting their shots, and Jay Crowder and I mean, you had so Bridges. If he shows up like he did tomorrow, Cam Johnson shows up, and I mean, Campaign played bad, Chris Paul played bad, Jay Crowder played bad, and we still lost by 4 in overtime. Like, I'm not really upset about this loss that much, guys. I'm upset when we lose to the Detroit Pistons with their backups. That's what gets me. I'm upset when we lose to the Washington Wizards. That's what irks me. I'm upset when Robin Lopez makes DeAndre Ayton look like his stepchild. But a game like this versus the Nuggets, who are very formidable, and Booker goes out and you still have a chance, I'm not upset at this game. I'm not.
Before I get into any of the other comments, Iverson Vlogs, Gabe Martinez. Gabe, what's up, fam? Real one from day one. Good to see you on here again. I kind of want to paint a picture of the game a little bit, if I may, and kind of walk through this because I have some thoughts as we go along. Going into the game, Michael Porter Jr. found out that he's going to play, and I'm like, oh, man, we're going to have a high-scoring game.
Right.
Things are going to happen. Here we go, right? And then we come out in the first quarter and everything is just flowing. You know, when we're talking about wanting to change the starting lineup, I don't think the starters have been the issue, like starting, like the last few games, like strictly starting. I don't think that's been the issue because clearly we've gotten off to better runs. That's 100%. But then we go into the second quarter, and it's kind of getting back and forth. We get a 10-point lead, then it goes down, but we keep coming back. And then we're diving on the floor. We're getting all the loose balls, and then coming out of halftime, you're like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. And didn't we go up by 14 in the third quarter? Is that right?
So
I think it was 13 or 14 was the high that we got. And then I don't know what Denver did. Monty said they started switching more, which I did see that. I didn't think that took it down. I didn't see the ball moving as much. The ball didn't seem as crisp. Obviously, we weren't making our shots the way we were. I mean, we hit like 10 to 12 threes to start the game or something ridiculous. That obviously didn't happen. They started slowing the tempo down, which when Denver slowed it down, that's when they were getting those high pick and rolls and then switching and going right down to Joker against Cam or Mikhail or whoever the hell it was. But the fourth quarter, man, a few things. One, Monty's got to figure out this fourth quarter lineup, man. He's got to stick with his bench and not bring in Chris Paul to play from the 12-minute mark all the way down to 8 or 7 and then sit him out until like the 3-minute mark or something like that. I don't know what's going on with that. That's got to change. Our bench was pretty awful coming off today. I mean, Kaminsky hit a few threes. Javon Carter hit a few threes. Campaign was nowhere to be found. Abdul Nader, we just talked about him a little bit. He does bring more defensively. He does scrap for it a little bit more. He's a little more bulkier and a little quicker on the feet. So I get that if that's the route you want to go. But it really felt like we could have used some clutch threes in end of the third, early fourth. So maybe you gotta figure that out somewhere there. Maybe Javon Carter isn't all he's cracked up to be, and you take out Carter and put in Nader, get a little more size, so you can bring in Galloway.
Absolutely. Thank you. I vote that Javon Carter gets every single minute that Nader is getting. And I vote that they send Nader back to Denver.
No. That's not what I'm saying. No. I'm saying since Javon Carter was nowhere to be found and he can't guard bigger guys, take out Carter, put in Nader to defend if that's the route you want to go, if that's what you're trying to accomplish on defense. And then you bring in Galloway for those extra clutch threes. Like Carter's the type of guy you can bring in at any time, a point of the game, but a guy like Galloway needs to have a little bit of rhythm somewhere in the game. And him playing all of the first half or just none of the first half and all of the second, like that stuff has got to stop, in my opinion.
Bro, at this point, I'd rather see Etuan more than Nader.
Man, he's played 2 games. He's played tough defense. He got quite a few loose balls for us tonight, kept plays alive, has had a few dunks, and even hit a 3. He completely bricked one, but then also hit one. I'm not seeing the hate for Nader. I'm not calling him an all-star. I'm not trying to say he's 6 man. I'm not saying up his minutes. I'm saying what do you play? 19 minutes is too much for him. That's too much. But that's going to change. That's going to change with Dario. We know that. That's going to change with Dario too. Okay. But then going back to Salty's points when it comes to not only the coaching stuff that we just talked about, the weird ass lineups, but Chris Paul and turnovers, man. He had 3 straight possessions where we were up 2 to go up 4, I think 3 straight times down the court, and he was just clutch for us. And then all of a sudden, like the last 2:22, minute 43, something like that, he had 2 really bad possessions. He turned the ball over in clutch points. He didn't call a timeout either. And then he was non-existent in the overtime. But then, with Booker going out, there wasn't much you could do. So those are kind of my main takeaways from the game. After that, I kind of look at the bench. When we would score, did you guys see the bench getting all hype in the first half? I didn't see that in the second half. I was going to talk about that. Like, look at this bench, how awesome it is. And then it just kind of got silent, which was really frustrating in the second half. Although the cameras panned to the other side, so that could have been some of it.
Yeah. No, Coach, I like what you said about Chris Paul not taking a timeout. Suns Twitter, myself included, were really upset that he wasn't calling a timeout. But it's a good point, man. Chris Paul is every bit a coach, essentially, that Monty is. And why didn't Chris Paul? He just had an off night, man. 5 for 5 field goals, not going to cut it. 1 for 5 from the 3, not going to cut it. -9 with a per – terrible, 15 assists, that's great. But that 11 points that he scored, bro, that's the sneakiest 11 points I've ever seen. When did he get 11 points? How did he get?
He had 2 in the last few minutes, and then he had 3 straight buckets. There was a layup in there, and I think 2 jumpers, right?
He did. He definitely played better at the very end of the game. I agree, but his decision making was still ass. Don't you agree, Salt?
Chris Paul?
Yes. Decision making at the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. He's having issues. I don't know if it's just because he's old or whatever, but he's having issues with stamina, I guess, because that has to do with him actually getting points. Because he went through a stretch at the end, and I talked about it on Twitter that he's clutch. He is clutch. I'd rather have him taking the shot at the end of the game more than anybody, and I wish he had that chance instead of shooting that full court shot, basically half court at the end of the game. But yeah, he's had lots of turnovers, man. He's looking like Ricky Rubio out there with turnovers, man. And it's in bad situations. He's trying to force the ball, or I don't know what's going on, but yeah, his offense is not there, man. He's not putting up points, and
Hasn't been there all season.
it's weird. It's weird though, because if I was from an outside perspective, you look at the stats, you just look at the way our big three played, Bridges, Aiton, and Book. You would have thought this would have been an easy W, just the way they performed. They're all pretty good, right, stats wise. And
Yeah,
it's just, I think one of the main reasons why we lost is our bench has just turned into straight dog shit, you know? So,
you're not kidding, man. It looks really. I mean, look at that stat line there for the bench. It just looks grim. I mean, Crowder means nothing to me anymore at this point. The way he's been playing, Kaminsky, we've already talked about, means nothing. Nader, I personally want to fight him. Campaign,
nothing.
not
You got
not what
nothing
he
from
was
him.
before his, since his injury, he has not come back the same yet, and that can change. I think it will change. Javon Carter, where
Nothing.
are you, my guy? Like, coach, play Javon Carter more. We gotta get Sticks out there. I don't care if you have to hit him with a stem pen and
Mhm.
get him out there. Get that kid out there, please, coach. We need some height without Dario.
It's like you remember when the bench was just killing it? They were playing better than our starters.
Yes.
What's the difference now? Like,
Cam
Cam
Johnson.
Johnson.
yeah, yeah.
Jinx, bruh. You
So
know?
fucking put him back in
I think he
the
will.
bench.
I almost guarantee you're going to see that sooner rather than later. It's
But
like
Cam,
obviously
it's a
you look at Cam's stats. He is not in rhythm in the starting lineup.
Cam Johnson needs to be in the so like perfect bench lineup. Campaign needs to play a lot better. Cam Johnson needs to go back to the bench. Sticks could be in there and get Dario back in there. So that'd be, let's see, what are we missing? What player? Javon Carter.
Langston Galloway, Javon Carter, Abdul Nader. Those are the other three.
Javon would be in there. I think if you could get that lineup for our bench, because that's one of the strong points why we were actually winning games is the depth of our team. I mentioned this a lot of times. Like the difference between this year and last year is I felt like when our starters came out, our bench could actually extend our lead and not evaporate it. But now, like tonight, for example, our starters come out and the bench is just not performing. So it's just another one of those things where it's just like, come on, guys. It feels like our team is not clicking on all cylinders in every facet. I know it's difficult to do, but it's either like Aiden's not playing well, or Book's off, or our bench is playing well and our starters are off, or
Right.
CP3. It's just like everybody takes a turn to suck, you know? Or health protocols happen. We're on a run and our coach calls a timeout and takes everybody out of the game, or Galloway's lighting up threes and he gets taken out. It's just like, dude, we cannot just get in a rhythm. It doesn't happen. It sucks. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Coach, you got anything, man?
I'm
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 getting
of
to
the
the point where I'm speechless, man. It's exactly what you said. Different guys are getting hot at different times, and not everything's coming together.
Mhm.
We all know that shooting's gonna come and go, man. Being a damn good shooter is how consistent you can be. There were times where Mikhail wasn't hitting. Now, obviously, Cam Johnson's not hitting. I think it was against the Lakers in the preseason, the only one I watched on ESPN. Like Jay Crowder hit like 6 threes in a row. It's crazy how that can be so hit or miss, literally. And it's frustrating. One of the things that made our bench so deadly was Campaign and Javon Carter causing absolute chaos everywhere, not letting anybody just rest or nothing. Haven't seen that the last 2 games. I think that could be some of Campaign coming off of the ankle injury. I haven't seen that chaos, but man, can we talk about our defense tonight for a second? We were letting them do whatever they wanted. They weren't hitting shots as well as they probably could have in the first half, even in the second half. But then we'll give up an offensive rebound and they'll convert every time. It was so frustrating to watch that defense that where they're hammering in their laurels and we're gonna be one of the top defensive teams. That's what we want to do.
Well, I mean,
And
look. Okay, let me pull up the Nugget stats here, though. Think about this. I mean, one of the things I wrote down is how did we do such a good job on Jamal Murray? Like 18 points. That's low for him. 0 for 5 from 3. That's good defense. I mean, turnovers.
I got
turnover
something
4
for
times.
you on that. Jamal Murray. So in case y'all don't know, we're gonna be having a fun little crossover podcast tomorrow after the second Denver game. We're gonna bring somebody over from Denver that's a fan, has a podcast over there. So we're gonna get some insight on him. But I talked to him today, and he had the same things about Jamal Murray that we are saying about Booker and about being consistent. He just does it when he wants to. When he wants to go out and get 30, 40 points, he'll go out and do it. And sometimes, like, I'm getting sick of Jamal Murray. I was like, oh, word? Do you want to trade for him? Like, if that's where y'all are at, I'll take him off your hands. But that's where they're coming from, is his consistency. So can we chalk this up to one of those type of games? Coming from the Detroit market or Denver market, where they're just as big of fans as we are.
Right. I'm not worried about this game. I'm just not. Point blank. I mean, Salty, you're saying that you're chalking tomorrow's game up as an L. I think I have to agree if Booker doesn't play. If Booker plays, I think we'll be fine. I think we can win. It doesn't seem like he's going to play. Do we have confirmation that he's out, or is that just fans saying that it looks like he's going to be out?
No, he came out. Monty came out and said it looks like a hamstring thing, but we don't know about the severity.
Hamstrings are tough, dude, especially for basketball. They can keep you out extended periods, you know?
And you want to stay out for a little while if you've got a ham. You don't want to rush back.
You can make it worse, and then it just be lingering and stuff. As far as tomorrow's game goes, like I said, if Booker's not playing, it's just an L, dude. There's a lot of times towards the end where they're doing like a high screen, and Joker would just stick his ass out and purposely just get in the way, and we would switch because it was like easy as fucking pie to get a switch on Joker, and he'd either get it to where it's a mismatch on both sides and he get an easy hoop on down there. It was just watch the overtime. It's just crazy how easy it was for them to do their offense.
Guys, I got a really, really bad stat for you. Here's why we lost. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. This is from Dwayne Rankin. They were continuing to attack the paint as Denver won, despite shooting 6 of 26 from three-pointer. How did they win? Denver had 80 points in the paint, y'all.
Yeah.
Gross. Because with if it's not Ayton in there, who did not get a block tonight, who's going to stop anything?
It's got to be Dario's the only other one. I mean,
he's so small.
No. Listen. He's not your shot blocker type of defensive guy. He's the guy that's going to get in your body and throw off your rhythm, and all of a sudden the shot's short. That's what he brings, and that's what he does.
Crowder's a big body that plays pretty good defense. So
yeah, I know we're really sour tonight because we got the loss, but I'd like to bring up a positive note. I'd like to bring up Devin Booker's play. I know
outstanding, dude.
11 for 21, not his best performance once again. 31 points. I don't care about that. It's just his intensity is back.
That chase down block.
Thank you. That chase down block, hustles back. The chase down block was beautiful. All ball, pins it up against the glass, and then I don't want to leave out Bridges, who was the one who double tap in and out of bounds, saved the ball, gets it back up to Booker. Booker comes up, throws the oop to Ayton. Ayton flushes it. You give me that Booker, and you give me that Ayton in the playoffs. Man, I just hope that Chris Paul can rub something on his legs, man.
Well, remember with OKC, they were like 6 and 17, and then we went on a run. Or OKC went on a run. So,
real quick, shout out to Gabe Martinez. I think he commented how our coach is similar to Cliff Kingsbury, so he's a Cardinals fan, which makes him even more awesome. But he said no positives, we lost. That's true, and I'm opposite of Gabe because he's a fake fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm the real deal. This every loss.
The other
hurt.
Gabe, the Gabe on
Not
here.
Gabe Martinez, me, bruh.
Every loss hurts a true Suns fan. You know what I'm saying? A native Arizonan, it hurts in my heart to see this shit, and it just I see the same things happen. Every L hurts me, makes my blood pressure go through the roof. That's why I shouldn't fucking watch the Suns, but I guess I do because I'm a glutton for punishment with Arizona sports teams. And then the comment by Iverson Vlogs. If you look closely, Booker didn't hit Harris, which was
No,
true.
he didn't at all.
Let's just focus on that for a little bit here. The refs are extremely incompetent. If you look at that play, Booker got fouled on that play, and I think he actually made the basket, didn't he? It was like an and one,
Yeah,
or
it
he
was
got.
did.
an and one, and he
He
would have
did.
So
made
He
that free
got
throw.
fouled first, so it's really irrelevant whether or not he swiped
So
through his elbow.
no, but you got to imagine the momentum swing right there. Okay, he was going for an and one potential 3-point play. Then they go back to review it. Clearly, you could see from the camera there's no actual contact with Harris's chin. He just flops back. And the incompetence of these fucking refs, dude, they should be fired for that. Because either you're blind or you're incompetent or you're throwing games for fucking sports bets or something. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no other explanation of why you could be that dense
I want
to
to
reverse
disagree
that
with
call.
you. I want to disagree with you a little bit. Two things. Number one, three things. When he swiped through on Book and slapped the ball, I gotta admit it was a lot of ball. It was a little bit of hand, but it was so much ball that I could kind of see where a ref is like, yo, I mean, yeah, he touched his hand, but after he slapped the ball out. Now, the swipe through on Book on the Euro step to his left. That elbow was close. I don't think that there was much.
No,
Show me it, please. I hope I'm wrong.
I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen with
Okay,
you right
share
now.
it for me. We'll pop it up here. I want to see it.
You're full of shit. Let me just put that out
No,
there.
I got no reason to be full of shit. I got no reason.
I'm calling you out. Like, unless you need to get your eyes checked, because that's a
I might need to get them
possibility.
checked.
Because I think you do need glasses if you can't
I'm
see that
wearing
he's not making
contacts.
contact. So what? So
Okay,
you have
hold on.
you have the refs that have the ability to go in with their little cameras and their zoom in and their super slow mos, and they can see that there's a space in between his fucking his fucking elbow and his chin, and this guy's flopping, and you're rewarding him.
That was my third point, Salt. That was my third point before you so rudely jumped down my throat. Okay, is that he sold it really well. Harris sold that shit. Like, he got me. In the moment, I thought, oh, he got clipped. And so from a ref's perspective.
Did he get hit on that first one? Look at the first one. Hold on. Right there, that first elbow.
Maybe that was the one that actually clipped him.
No, dude.
That second one, clearly no. I don't know. First off,
dude,
listen. First off, he
thank
came
you,
down.
Chris,
He
for
got
that
some ball.
fair.
He got some ball to begin with. He did. Don't get me wrong. He got some ball, but then he came down on the rest of his arm.
He did come down on his hand.
That's where the foul is, man.
No, but here's the deal. If you're gonna go to the cameras, right, just like in the NFL, it has to be clear, evident evidence to overturn the call that was called on the court or the field, which it wasn't. He didn't have any marks on his fucking face. He wasn't bleeding. It was a sham, and if you can't see it in the replay, there's no evidence to overturn that. So it's just complete horse shit. All right, plain and simple.
I hated the play, but that view that Evan just showed, I think potentially that first elbow might have clipped. Not gonna lie, got to keep it 100.
Yo, so then we come back, right, and there's a challenge on our part which we fucking lose, where people are going straight up. It's clear that it's not a foul, and then it doesn't get overturned. So you can't tell me that these refs are slighted towards Denver based off of what's happening in the paint, the difference between foul shots and overturns of challenges. And we actually had a play in overtime where it would have been nice to have a challenge and we didn't have one, or it was towards the end of the game. I think it was maybe at the end of the fourth quarter. And they're like, wow, I mean, that would have been nice to have a challenge there, but you don't have one because you lost. It's just like, come on, man. So normally I wouldn't want to blame losses on refs, but honestly, the only thing that I could blame this loss on, Devin Booker getting hurt, our coach, and the refs. I don't blame it on players, really. It's like there's like Cam Johnson had a bad game, but it's not to the point where I felt like his not playing well would have made it so where we lose. Booker played well. Bridges played well. Ayton played well. Chris Paul didn't have the best offensive game, but he was throwing dimes out there. So it's like players did their thing. Refs were super incompetent. I think that it's a 5-point swing.
Losing
and that's enough
on the audio here. So I think we're losing. I think we're losing. You were cutting out. Can you repeat? Maybe go rewind yourself. Maybe 10 seconds here. I
don't think you can blame it on anything but the refs, our coach.
So specifically with the coach, just for anybody who's just now tuning in, he's specifically saying playing Nader too long, right? Was there anything else? I'm serious. And playing Kaminsky too much?
I don't even think it had to do with that. I just think his weird rotations in the fourth quarter, starting Chris Paul, taking him out at the 8-minute mark-ish, and then having him sit to the 3.5 minute mark, whatever it was that he came back in. It doesn't make sense because I've always remembered, especially in the Nash years, Nash goes out with like 2 minutes left.
One after another, you guys are cutting out.
Am I cutting out?
It's you then, if we're both cutting out.
Of course.
I'm hearing him just fine. Me. No. Listen, I remember with the Nash years specifically, and with a lot of other teams, that your starting point guard goes out with 2 or 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And then he comes back in, depending on where the team is and the game flow, anywhere from at the 10-minute mark all the way even down to the 6-minute mark if they're doing good. But there's that clear gap in there. But him coming in, going out, then coming back in, does that feel weird to you, Salty? That's weird, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's rotation. It's rotations, dude. It's time.
I thought they were pulling CP3 out in those weird rotations because he was playing like hot dog shit.
No,
if I'm being completely
honest, it's consistent now. I mean, he's done it for 2 or 3 games now. It's consistent.
Just like what Coach Evan was saying, man. If the Nash years and any other team, you rotate your players out and you have your starters in there for the end of the fourth. For I don't know. The last 6 minutes.
And he started, and McHale started the fourth quarter too, and then took him out. I'm not grasping that concept, especially in games where Cam Payne and Javon Carter are throwing up goose eggs.
Yo, host, I knew it was you, man. If we both cut out, it's you, dude. Because one person can lag out or have internet problems, but if it's 2 people, that's you, homie.
We'll see. I'll call my internet guy.
So to go back, I really think I want to see more of Langston Galloway. I know defensively he is not where Nader is, but I feel like because of the level of players they are, which we're talking the 9, 10, 11 players on the bench, respectively. I'm not one of those players, so I respect them for even getting there. I understand that move, but we have not been clicking in the fourth quarter, and I feel like shot making is so important. As much as I think defenses, we weren't doing any defense anyways. We let them score 80 in the paint. To me, that's the game. That's the game right there, regardless of what the refs do or whatever. You can't give up 80 in the damn paint. But yeah, Galloway's shooting 50% from the field, man. 50%, no minutes.
That's gotta be fixed. That's gotta be swapped, man. You gotta go ahead and give him Naders. It's fine. I feel like coach is figuring out what it is.
Yes, frustration. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think he's just figuring out okay, I probably need to go ahead and put Cam back. I was wrong. That wasn't the problem. That wasn't what it was. There's still time, guys. We've had some really stinkers of games that we've been really depressed about already. And we've had some super highs, man. We've had some real good highs. So I think maybe we just need to look at this first quarter of the season as kind of figuring out who we are, considering we have Chris Paul, letting him get his old ass dusty legs under him, getting Jay Crowder mixed into the team, trying to figure out where exactly he fits. Is he our sixth man? Is he our starter? Is Cam our sixth man? Is he our starter? We don't have Dario. If Ayton can turn around his play from the horse shit he was giving us to the 3 games in a row of A+ material, anything can happen on this team if we're just willing to give it some time. What do you think, Coach?
Well, I'm going to go back to what we said. Maybe it was even the first podcast when you guys had me on. We're going to play our best basketball the last 15 games of the season. That is going to be the most consistent thing you have heard from me. And if I am wrong for that, then oh hell, I'll never speak basketball again, because it's very, very evident that it's not there right now. Things click here, things click there. They'll click for a quarter. They'll make shots for a half. But what happens in the fourth quarter? Look at the Rockets game, you guys. We could have blown the Rockets game.
We always let them back in. No matter how bad we're beating a team, we always and no matter how badly we're getting beaten, we always get back in the game. You know, it's a weird dynamic. We just love playing close games. It's almost like someone who's just like always late to something. It's just like a bad, nasty habit that we just can't shake. We're just always playing close games down the stretch. And you're right. I mean, it would be so nice to have a game like we had against the Pelicans where we just run roughshod over them. But that's not happening lately.
That was the worst possible thing that could have happened to us, man. That was just having a game like that so early, giving us all of that, whatever you call it, flow, mojo, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Winning that game against the Pels that early gave us so much overconfidence. I think it hurt us more than anything. Man, it's just so infuriating to watch.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I got kicked.
So, guys, tomorrow night, we've got them again, likely no Booker. I want to go on the record as saying we can absolutely win this game. I don't think we need Devin Booker to beat these guys. I think we need Jay, Chris, and Cam to show up, and we can shoot them out of the gym.
There's no injury status for tomorrow as of yet, so we don't know about Dario.
Now, Chris Paul took a knee too, right? He had a little knee to knee at the end of the game too, but he stayed in the game.
And so he came out and said tonight in his post game that they need to come out tomorrow, and we need to have energy and we need to play.
I think the only reason why Sticks didn't play is because of conditioning. I hope that they can somehow get him out there. I know it's kind of a long shot, but if Booker's not playing, maybe putting him out there would help kind of get some bigs out there and kind of help with rotations. It's going to be interesting to see if our coach makes changes to the lineup, or he kind of sticks with Cam Johnson in the starting lineup, or he goes back to Crowder, which I think he needs to do. We'll see with that. And who would start in place of Book if he's not in there, you know?
I think Cam Johnson. And to be honest, I slide Jay Crowder. Well, either way, I slide Jay Crowder into maybe the 3. I mean, honestly, I think you could put Cam at the 2. He'd be like a big-ass Klay Thompson. But you could play him at the 3. You could play him at the 4. You can play either 3 of those, Cam, Jay, and Mikal, all 2, 3, and 4, no problem.
That's true.
What do you think? Who do you think they play?
I don't know. I think Nader will play just because of bodies or lack thereof. Nader's going to take Booker's spot in the All-Star team because he's the chosen one.
Well, Galloway will play. Langston Galloway's for sure.
No, Galloway. Yeah. Hey, man, start Galloway in Booker's spot. How's that sound?
I mean, if you're only gonna have him play for a few minutes here or there, you might as well get off
Yeah,
to a good
yes.
start with a
Don't
couple
give him all
threes.
of Booker's minutes, but maybe start him. But no, I would
Man,
probably just slide Jay Crowder up into
it's
there.
it's just really infuriating watching things like this happen to us time and time again. Especially 2 weeks ago, they finally it was almost exactly 2 weeks ago against the Washington. Before that game even happened, ESPN comes out. We're ranked number 2 in the power rankings. Ever since then, we're just downhill trajectory. Our only win is against Houston. We had COVID protocol issues. Tomorrow is the first game not on national TV since Memphis. So who knows if we'll even play. Maybe now the COVID-19 protocols are important since we're not on ESPN and we're not even going to play for another 2 weeks. So who the hell knows what's going to go on. So that's also what makes this very infuriating, and just what Salty said just makes your blood boil and frustrate, because Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton played like all-stars tonight. All-stars. He hustled. He did all these things. There's still miscommunication on the defensive end off the ball for Book, which still just drives me insane. But definitely going to give him a pass because of how he played tonight. And he should have gotten that bucket with an and one with the Euro step around Harris. Frustrated. They can win tomorrow. I think they might in a close one because of that specific play with Gary Harris. I think basketball gods are weary on that kind of thing when you try to fake plays like that. But the basketball gods spoon-fed Manu Ginobili for the longest time. So hell if I know.
Right.
I think it's an L tomorrow. So we'll see, though. I mean, if they do lose, what's the record going to be? It's going to be what, 8-6, 8-7,
8-7. 8-7. We're looking like a playoff team that, our ceiling is maybe get out of the first round. That's our ceiling.
So before we go, wipe this one from our memory. Let's take a look at the rest of the NBA. Bulls playing tough still. Slap the Hornets. Gordon Hayward, 34. I mean, he's
turning it on.
And so is Zach LaVine. He's been killing it. He's probably going to be an all-star this year. Rockets get a win over the Pistons.
What a terrible game that must have been.
Ugh. Pacers beat the Magic. Magic still pretty much reeling. The Cavs beat the Nets again.
Right.
Did you see that, Salty?
Go figure.
Yeah, dude.
I want to see this real quick.
It's more of what I said, man. They don't play defense, and they screwed their depth. Like, they have no depth on their team, and they don't play defense. It's like it's a repeat. It's a repeat of the Phoenix Suns when Steve Nash was here.
Well, also, to be fair, Durant didn't play. They gave him a game off since I think it was a back-to-back.
You still got Kyrie Irving and James Harden.
I agree. No. I agree. Totally. No excuses. 76ers.
Okay. Hold on. They started Bruce Brown at the 2. I've literally never heard of him. Now, hold on. Wait for it. One of their backups was Reggie Perry. Literally have never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Another guy that came in and played. Yeah, Chris Chiazzo, whatever. You don't play a lot. Then they had Landry Shamet, who's obviously their best guy coming off the bench. And then Luau Cabarro. I don't know who that is either, dude. Like, who are these guys?
I've only seen most of these guys because of playing 2K, to be completely honest. But I've never heard of Chiozza, and I've never heard of Perry. You're right, man. You're onto something. They are thin on the bench. 76ers beat the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, 42.
In an L.
Man, I didn't think he was going to become this good, but he's really shown something. Raptors beat the Heat. Hawks beat is anyone going to give us some help here? Hawks beat the Timberwolves. Mavericks beat the Spurs, so they're
Luka
just kind
with another almost a trip dub.
Yeah. But hey, let everybody that's still here, man. First of all, thank you so much for coming out. We've had 11 people here.
Hey, give a shout out to all the regulars in the chat. Dude.
Right, we've had 11 people in here congruently. I know that doesn't sound that great, but we're a small, brand new Suns podcast. That's the most 2 days in a row now that we've had at the same time. So Iverson Vlogs, man, Super appreciate you. Gabe Martinez, dope name,
Yep.
dope takes.
I gotta go. I gotta give my man Gabe a shout out. Last night, me and him were going back and forth watching the Arizona State complete fallout last night to Arizona. But he's got the same exact mentality I have. You know, the win now, no excuses. Everybody likes to make excuses, and we both have that win now, do whatever it takes to win. So much respect, Gabe Martinez. Much respect.
So everybody that's still in here, take a look at this Luka stat. And take a look at this DeAndre stat. Now, doesn't this sting a lot less now that he's doing this? That's all we were saying. Don't give us crap. Don't give us grief. He was putting up 8 points and 11 rebounds for like the first 6 games of the season.
Stop.
Like, cut us some slack. Cut coach some slack. Like, my whole issue with DeAndre in the beginning of the season is what I see Luka doing and the fact that we took DeAndre. If DeAndre is doing anything around this 27 and 13, I don't give an F about you, Luka. I don't care. I love DA when he's playing like this. God, man, DA and Book, thank you for finally showing up. Now we just need to get everybody showing up.
Yep.
So anything left, Coach?
I think regardless if Devin Booker if he feels like he can play or anything like that, I think it's pretty critical that he probably sits out just for the long run game. We don't want him to hurt anymore as is, right? Yeah, here's a big one. Rest in peace, Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greats, home run hitters. He set the bar for home run hitters, man. Obviously, I never watched him. Wasn't able to know about him, know about the history, love all types of sports, and the world is not as good as it was yesterday with Hank Aaron in it. Rest in peace.
All right, everybody. I think that pretty much sums it up unless you have anything, Salt.
Nope.
Salt, where can they find you on Twitter? Because you know they're looking.
What's my handle again now? Saltiest AZ fan, I guess. That's what it is now.
That one. Coach, let's let you have a try. Where can they find you?
Man, I should start muting mine maybe because anything I say is taken out of context, right?
I'm going
to say I love you, bro, and they'll be like, what the hell did you just say to me?
You can find Coach Evan at Most Hated Suns Fan.
Seriously, maybe I should just make that my Twitter handle and have it be a thing.
Yeah. Follow him at Coach Evan B. Suns Valley Pod here. We really appreciate everybody coming out. Nerdy Paradise, what's up? Man, we will see you guys tomorrow night. Everybody get some sleep. Get your Suns gear pressed and washed and dried and ready to go for tomorrow so you can look good.
We got a good pod tomorrow. We got a guest speaker on tomorrow. Let's show him some love too. I'm really curious to see about the opposite point of view tomorrow. So we're gonna have a little crossover towards the end of it. It's gonna be good.
I can't wait for him to rub it in when we lose. It's gonna be awesome.
My prediction for the game is that Salty won't be here afterwards.
Yeah, I probably won't. To be honest,
that's fine, bro. That's fine. We'll hold it down for you if you can't make it. So everybody, thanks a lot. Have a good night. Suns lose. It's all right. We're gonna come back and get a dub tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
It will be an L.
Hater.